Hey guys, Zeramus555 here, just doing a deck profile update on my Herald agents. Changed things around a little bit, as you can probably already see right off the bat, so without further ado, I'm just going to get down to things really quickly here. So we got 3 Herald of Perfection, obviously. I haven't got the gold ghosts yet, but I have someone I know that's got a set for me, so I'm probably going to have those pretty soon. Not sure if I like them yet, but we'll see what they look like in person. 2 Kristya. I'll just go through it and come back and talk afterwards. 3 Hyperion. 3 Venus, 2 Jupiter, 1 Earth, and 2 Herald of Orange Light. We got 3 Manju, 1 Sonic Bird, 3 Mystical 3 Mystical Shine Ball, 1 Spirit of the Harp, 1 Gyakutenno Megami, and 1 Honest. Spells, we have 3 Pot of Duality, 3 Preparation of Rites, 2 Dark Factory Mass Production, 1 Advanced Ritual Art, 1 Dawn on the Herald, Heavy Storm Monster Reborn, and for my only 2 traps, 2 Bottomless Trap Hole. So basically the deck has changed a little bit from what it was before. Basically, the only changes I really made was I kind of changed up the style. It's still pretty much the exact same thing, but I'm focusing more on the normal monsters now for getting pluses. This is one of the best cards in the deck. Before, you guys know I was running the Decree build with Avarice and stuff, and I did like that, but I just found that, like, with Hyperion and just your opponent's removal, that obviously Pot of Avarice isn't always live. So this way I can bring stuff back, and it gets me more plays with Herald, more negates. Obviously, with Avarice missing from the deck, I can't do as many of the Gachi plays and stuff as I want, but I can still do quite a few, although with the Dark Factory. So see what kind of changes I made here. Same about bumping him up to 3 just because it's really a monster effect heavy format, but I think 2 is just fine for consistency's sake. Still like the 1 Sonic Bird. So really how the combo works is, I'm just going to show you guys here with the cards. The reason that you do run Spirit of the Harp over a second Gyakutenno and the Dark Factory. So you're going to open up with, say, a Manju and a Herald. You summon Manju, search out this, activate it. So you're going to dump 1 Shine Ball and the 1 Spirit of the Harp. Now that's going to equal 6 stars, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you send them to the graveyard. You're going to special your Herald of Perfection to the field, with Manju on the field, and then you're going to have a Dark Factory in your hand. You're going to activate the Dark Factory, and it's going to add both these back to your hand. So originally your hand started off with Herald, Manju, Dark Factory, and you got a +1 off, obviously, off the Manju. And then the Dark Factory essentially gets you +1. So you pretty much start off your field with Herald, Manju on field, and 5 cards in hand. It's a first turn +1, and your opponent already knows the heat's on because you already have 2 negates in your hand, and it's just really, really good. The other nice thing about obviously running the 3 Shine Balls and the 1 Spirit is that obviously you have some more control with the graveyard for Kristya plays. My other build wasn't as consistent on getting out Kristya as I would have liked it to, and I really do like this build. So, Kristya is still one of the best cards in the deck. You get that plus Herald in the field, and that's usually game, which is very, very important. So, I think this is actually better than... like, the 2 Gyakutenno makes your Dawn of the Herald a lot more consistent, but most of the time this is just a backup. You're going to be using your Advanced Ritual Art in most cases to bring stuff out. So, I really do like this combo. Nice thing about her as well is if you get her in hand compared to drawing like a couple of Gyakutenno dead draws, is that obviously Spirit of the Harp, you can set it as a 2000 wall, and that's actually pretty useful a lot of the time, especially turn 1. You set it, and then next turn you can summon a Manju, search, and then XYZ if you need to, so it's actually quite good. Still the 1 Honest, 3 Duality. I was honestly thinking about dropping Duality down to 2 and then cutting the Bottomless for 3 Decree again, but the thing with Decree I find is that this deck can stop traps anyways. It's nice to have the Decree up, obviously, to stop your opponent's traps and not have to worry about your discards for them. But this version of the build has so much negation anyways that it really doesn't matter. You're just always plussing with the Hyperions and the Dark Factories and whatnot, and it really just doesn't matter. So I just decided Bottomless. I know a lot of people are going to be asking why you're running this as your only 2 traps. I just decided Bottomless was a lot more important. The deck's major weaknesses are, of course, Blackluster Soldier and, Judgment Dragon, big monsters that can get over Herald. Another one that's now out and people can summon it very easily is Golem, Acid Golem. So basically this is just an out to all those big cards that Herald has a hard time getting over. And it just protects your field. Like, some people might be like, why aren't you running Warning? One thing, this deck poops on Dino Rabbit. Two, this deck poops on Inzectors. So, drawing these is actually quite good, so I really don't have to worry about that. And even if they go, like, I had the Herald out, they go Rabbit, add to effect, I don't negate, and they summon the 2 dinos, I'm just going to flip up the Bottomless, banish them both, and they're pretty much shut down. Like, even if they go Tour Guide next turn, I'm just going to negate it. So this deck it's so good still, this format. I don't know why nobody runs this deck anymore, because I still think it's top tier. Nico, if you're watching this, you're a moron, because this is not a tier 3 deck. This is just an underplayed, I'd say, tier 2 deck. I still love you, though. No hating. But, yeah, it's still a very, very good deck. I recommend it to anyone who wants a budget deck to build. It's even cheaper now because the Heralds just got reprinted. They're a little hard to find now because it was in Shining Darkness, but if you want to build the deck now, it's actually very cheap. Hyperion was also reprinted if you can't find the structure decks, and the other ones are pretty easy to find because lots of people have Earths, and Jupiter is sitting around now that Agents aren't tier 1 anymore. Yeah, so if you guys have any opinions or thoughts on the deck, let me know. It'd be very, very helpful. Once again, I was thinking about maybe just, because the one thing I don't like about traps in this deck is you're giving your opponent something to MST, and that's one thing that makes this deck so good, much like Chaos Dragons, is that when they draw the MSTs in the Heavy Storms, you have no back rows, it's dead. This is a very important card in the deck, though. I'm going to test it out. I may end up dropping it. We'll see how it tests out at locals and online, of course. But I may end up cutting them out, running a 3rd Herald of Orange Light, and possibly squeezing in another spell. Maybe even a 3rd Dark Factory Mass Production, just for even more nutty plays. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about the deck, but I'm just going to quickly move on to the extra deck, because I know some people, well, most people always ask me what's your extra deck look like, so this is obviously a lot easier to show you right now. So 1 Mist Wurm, this deck still can do that whole Venus, summon Earth, they don't attack it, next turn you summon Venus, Shine Ball, and there's your Mist Wurm. This card's still very good. Yes, it gets Veilered, but the thing with this deck is you got Herald up, and you do plays like that, it's really, really funny because they Veiler it, you're just like, no, bro, negate the Veiler, and then it just goes off. This deck does have OTK potential as well. I've done it several times, so it's actually very, very explosive if you have the right hand. I'm going to run 2 8s. I was going to try and find room for Light End Dragon or Venji Knight Parshath, which are both excellent cards, especially Venji Knight Parshath. He's a 2600 Piercer, so he's very good to summon out when your opponent's got a Reaper or something sat. I may still find room for him somewhere, but I'm not really sure what exactly I would cut. Deck's pretty tight on space. I don't bring him Mist Wurm that much, but I might cut him out for Parshath, but I still like it, the 1 Mist Wurm. I've always liked Mist Wurm, so... Scrap, you just gotta run, and it is actually very easy to go into these, because you can do so many pluses with the deck that you can drop another Herald with no minus off of a Preparation of Rites. And then you fill up the graveyard, of course, more for your Dark Factory, and then you can just summon an Earth or summon an Orange Light, sync with the Herald, and you make an 8. So it's actually quite good. And Venji Knight Parshath, another cool thing about him is he actually has effect targets, which is pretty sweet. So he also gets around Reaper in that sense. For my level 7s, which I can also go into fairly easy, not as easy as I used to with only 1 Earth, but Ancient Sacred Wyvern and Black Rose Dragon. I still like Black Rose in the extra deck. I think it's too good not to run. And Ancient Sacred Wyvern is probably one of the best cards in the extra deck if you can get it out. It usually wins games. You get this thing out when Herald, and it's pretty much GG from there, so pretty awesome card. It's not as expensive as it was either, which is nice. 1 Brionac for my only level 6. I can go into 6s fairly easy this deck again, but I decide Brionac's really the only one I'm ever going to go into. I might try and find room for a Gaia Knight, but I really don't think it's that important. Now the Earth's at 1, there's not as much sinking in this deck as there used to be, so I think the XYZ plays are a lot more important. Catastor, staple. Armory Arm, because I can make it, and you can equip it to Herald, and it's really, really funny. So we got 1 Utopia for XYZs, and I also have Roach. I really like Roach in here, because if you get a Gachi up, Herald, and then Roach out, that is a 2300 Roach. You've got the Herald at 3200, and your Gachi protecting your field, so their Herald's negating everything, Roach is negating their special summons. It's pretty much GG. You can't get them out, like 4s don't get out as consistently in this deck because you only have, I think 6 4s? That sounds, 7 4s if you count the Spear of the Harp. But Roach is still too good. I was thinking about maybe riding a Maestro instead, but Roach is like one of my favorite XYZs, so in a control deck, I think it's too good not to run your extra deck. Level 3s, I have Leviathan Dragon and Leviair. Now, you guys know I love Golem. I do kind of want to run him over Leviathan Dragon, but I think Leviathan Dragon is just a little bit better just because Golem, of course, negates my summons, so not as good. And then for level 2s, the last monsters in the deck, we have 2 Gachi and 1 Dark Mist. With the Dark Factory build, I can make rank 2s a lot easier without having to worry about Avarice. So you don't have to kill one, I'm just going to bring on another. Usually you don't need more than 2 Gachis to win the game. And Dark Mist is just there if I want to go with the 3 Shine Ball. It gets over anything big, and this guy with Herald on the field is hilarious as well because they can't kill it. So, yeah guys, that's the deck. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace!